Some weeks I am super organized with my meal plan, and some weeks life just gets the better of me and I'm not really on top of things. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 7 really simple, no cook, easy prep work lunches that come in under $5. You can easily bring them with you in your trusty work bag. By the way, I have a whole video on my work bag setup. If you're interested in that, it's over on my other channel, Simple Essentials, and I will link that video down here below for you. But for now, let's have a look at my 7 ideas that you can pick up in pretty much any supermarket here in Australia or elsewhere for that matter. Let's dive in. So why would you want to bring your lunch to work in the first place? Well, whether you work from home or you work somewhere else, you save a lot of money by not going out for lunches. Around where I live, a sandwich is now anywhere between $10 and $15. Sushi can be a little bit cheaper sometimes, but anywhere between $10 and $20 to go out for lunch adds up over time. So the tips that I'm sharing with you today all come in at around $5, and many of them don't actually require any refrigeration or real preparation. Sometimes it can help if you have a fridge and a microwave available at your office. Some of these meals will require a microwave or a hot kettle of water, but most of this stuff actually just lives in my office. Most people who work in an office space have a little locker or a drawer or something where you can leave stuff at work. And even if you can't, just bring your trusty work bag and put your lunch in there and bring it with you. So let's dive into the recipes we're going to look at today, or rather the ingredients and things that I legitimately use and eat most weeks. Here in Australia, it's going towards spring, but the first one I have for you is soup and a bread roll. I really lucked out when I went to Coles and found this 6-pack of bread rolls for $1.71, which works out to about 30 cents per roll. Now, this might not be the most nutrients-dense bread in the world, but I was pretty stoked with this. And by the way, what I do when I find clearance bread like this is that I'll cut the bread in half and slice it so it's a little bit easier to thaw out and doesn't get soggy in the middle, and I will just freeze it as it is in the bag or in smaller Ziploc bags depending what I'm going to use it for. So a bread roll along with pretty much any kind of canned or packet soup. Most often you can just pour this in a microwave safe bowl or even a Tupperware container and heat it up in a microwave if you have that handy at work. This is really tasty, really easy, and yes, making your own soup is healthier, but I reckon saving money and not going out to buy a soup or a pho or a noodle dish will save you a lot of money on those days when you only really have a short lunch and you want to get something warm and nutritious in your belly. Next up is my go-to. So tip number 2 is to go for either tuna, canned tuna, or canned chicken. There are so many different flavors of canned tuna. You can have the ones with oil, without. You could do your own seasoning, whatever you prefer. But I very often do a little pot or a little baggie of brown rice in the microwave, and I will top that with tuna, and then I'll either add the 4-bean mix, so the ones that come in the little tiny cans, portions, or some corn. Also, they come in tiny portions. Now, if you were to buy the larger tuna, the larger can of any of the vegetables, of course that would be cheaper. But if you are looking for just a quick, easy lunch that you can just assemble, I think it's fine to go for the smaller packaging because they are more portion sized. So tuna, rice, and any kind of vegetable, stir that together, put a little bit of extra seasoning on, and it will be really yummy. And I eat this almost every week, at least once. In a similar vein, so tip number 3, in a similar vein to the rice, there is often kind of rice and quinoa blends, or even quinoa that you can do in the microwave, same as rice. So what I tried to do is, again, tuna or chicken with some kind of quinoa or quinoa blend, and again pairing it with a vegetable of your choice. I actually found those little mini cans as well of edamame beans, which I really personally like. I found them at my supermarket. They weren't as cheap as the corn and the 4-bean mix, but whatever is available where you are, to create that kind of variety and make yourself a little rice bowl with things that you like is really great. If you wanted to splurge, you can also go for the rice packets that have like a Mexican rice or a fried rice with a little bit of egg or something in them. Those are all really great as well, and they come in microwave packets. So mixing it up is actually the key, and I will have, at any given time, I will have a few different options in my locker at work so I can quickly assemble a lunch and go for the flavors that I feel like that day. It goes without saying, by the way, that seasoning is key. So whatever you prefer to have handy at work. Most offices will have like a salt and pepper shaker in the kitchen area if you have one of those. Otherwise, you can obviously bring your own salt and pepper with you in a little tiny tub or something. I keep my favorite seasoning, which is lemon pepper. I keep one of them at work. I often use that for tuna if I just do the tuna in spring water, but you can also do like a harissa is really quite nice, or a Mexican blend, or a mixed herb blend. Basically any kind of budget cooking, seasoning is your friend. If you like red chili flakes, it can really lift a lot of dishes without being too spicy. So have a few seasonings on hand that you either bring with you or leave at your work so that you can easily mix something nicer. So meal idea number 4 is to go to the salad section of your supermarket and buy a bag of lettuce. When I went to Coles, there were quite a few options available around the $2 mark. You could also splurge a little bit and get one of those Caesar salad or Mexican salad or whatever salad they have available where you can get to. I personally find that they're often a little bit more expensive unless you find them on clearance. And yes, it's nice with those more expensive ones that they come with dressing sometimes. But in the similar vein to the spices I just talked about, you can actually have a salad dressing or something that you keep at work in the fridge. Or if it's more like a vinaigrette type, they don't always need to be refrigerated, so you could keep it in your locker. But anyways, back to salads. Pick yourself up a salad kit of some kind. I found a couple of different options for around about the $2 mark. And obviously, ideally, you would have a clip or something with you because you might not eat all of this salad or all of this lettuce in one go. But what you would essentially do is you take your little salad kit, whatever lettuce you've picked up, and then you mix that with a little bit of tuna and a little bit of either corn or one of the canned vegetables we talked about before. You could obviously pick up a fresh tomato or something like that if you would prefer. But this is a really easy one, and especially I like the salad blend kits that have a few different types of lettuce and things in the one bag because it gives you that variety and you get your leafy greens if that's something you like. Coleslaw is another really inexpensive option, but I know everyone doesn't love eating coleslaw, and you may want to then pick up a coleslaw dressing, which may take you over the $5. But making yourself assembling a really quick, simple salad is something that I often do, and it's really, really easy and really tasty. Another area of many larger supermarkets that people kind of ignore when they're budget cooking or budget prepping is the deli counter. And the deli counter can be really expensive, but if you have some of those yummy bread rolls that I picked up and you just wanted a couple of slices of cheese and maybe a couple of slices of ham or salami or something like that, you can buy as little as you want. So more than once I've gone to the deli counter and said, can I have 1 or 2 slices of that cheese please, and 3 slices of ham. And it actually comes in very, very cheap. Obviously if you have a fridge at work, you can buy the larger normal packet of ham or any other kind of lunch meats. But I find if you're just looking for a quick lunch for one day, the deli counter can be your friend. And if you have some of that salad mix or some coleslaw or something, you can throw a little bit of that in your bread roll or in your bun as well, and it can really kind of stretch the meal a little bit more. But it's very, very easy and very, very tasty. We're on the home stretch now, and in the vein of using deli meat in a sandwich or in a bread roll, you can do the same thing with your tuna or your chicken. Again, it's nicer with a dressing, but if you don't have a dressing, that's fine. So I have many a time taken a bread roll, a can of chicken or a can of tuna, mixed that up in the bread roll, and if I had a slice of cheese, I would bring that, but if not, you can do without, and then a little bit of coleslaw. I really like coleslaw as opposed to salad in a sandwich because it's just got that really nice crunchy texture, but obviously it's totally up to you and what you're able to find. But it's a very quick, easy one, and it's pretty healthy. And finally, for tip number 7 is any kind of cup noodle soup. They are not always as nutritious as I would like them to be, but there are many different options coming in around the $2-3 mark at my Coles. And then what I would recommend you to do is to cook your cup noodles to the instructions. So you normally just lift a little bit, put in some hot boiling water, which most people have access to in their workplace, fill that up and let it cook as per the instructions, and then you can drain a little bit or all of the liquid. I'm not really a brothy soup kind of person, so I normally drain all the liquid out once all the yummy seasoning is in there. And then I will add a little bit of chicken, a little bit of tuna, maybe one of my cans, the little cans of vegetables. And this way you're actually getting a lot more nutrition into those cup noodles rather than just the flavoring packets. Now you might be wondering, do I eat this every day at work? No, I absolutely don't. Most of the time I meal prep, and there is a lot of playlists which I will link below here in this channel as well as up here somewhere. And I have lots of playlists for meal prepping, meal planning, bringing your lunch, bringing assembled salads, bringing homemade soup and things like that. So I do try to do that probably most of the time, but like last week I had 2 days when I was without a lunch at work, and I ended up just using some rice, some tuna and some veggies from my cupboard, and it's especially good for those days when you are really busy, you're in between meetings and you might not have a lot of time to stop and have lunch. Most of these things I've shared with you today takes like 2 minutes to throw together, provided you've done your shopping beforehand, and it's so easy to have a default meal that you can do which will save you money and will save you time. Now I'm really keen to hear from you. Let me know in the comments below if you have any great no cook or easy lunch prep meals that are your go-to, whether you work from home or from elsewhere. I would love for us to share together and learn together, and I also hope you have an amazing week, and I look forward to see you soon.